I'll stay away from that. Let's talk about the sweaty practice at Eagles facility today. Training camp rolls on. Zach Berman is still here, and he's going to tell us about what he saw from the linebackers. Are they as good as the buzz they're getting? Hello, everybody, and welcome to the PHLY Eagles podcast on a sweaty Thursday afternoon. It's about to start pouring outside, but we are here to talk about the birds. And of course, we are presented by Dudette Dental Group and True Mark Financial. And right off the bat, we've got a super chat from Jim Jam Rowe, who says, I feel like my two dads told me they're getting divorced, but I get to watch them have great breakup sex for one more week. Thanks for the good times, ZB. How you doing, Zach?
I appreciate the support, and I'm doing well. I found a T-shirt in my trunk that I was able to change from the sweaty shirt.
But why did you wait a second? Why did you bring the sweaty shirt in?
I couldn't go over to we're taping something over there.
Yeah, but you could have left it over there. Why are you holding the sweaty shirt?
I didn't know where to put it, honestly.
Sweaty from all that sex.
I'm staying away from that, but anyways, excited for the show. Love doing shows with you, so this is gonna be fun.
Yeah, should be fun. An interesting day at camp today. Not a full pads day. Pads up top, shells up top, and not below. Let's not worry about what we're wearing down below. But lots to talk about. Some guys injured. We're gonna go through it all, and we don't have too many left of these. We gotta make the most of it.
We don't need to keep belaboring that point, but yeah, I'm excited for the show.
Okay, what was your number one takeaway? Let's get to it.
The inefficiency of the offense was, and so it was partly, DeVonta Smith's not out there. They didn't pass that much, but like the first team offense, I thought was not really moving the ball particularly well throughout the day. Would you agree with that?
We just have a different way of looking at what happens at practice.
Okay.
I'm just not as concerned with the results. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm not saying the offense is bad, but we're there at practice. Like the offense wasn't moving the ball.
Well, sure, but I mean, I actually thought it was encouraging that Jalen Hurts was throwing to other guys. He threw to Jahan Dotson several times, including one nice completion and one downfield throw that was just incomplete. I thought he did a good job moving in the pocket at one point and finding Dallas Goedert as his third or fourth read.
Yes.
And then Goedert dropped the ball, but then later on he came right back to him. I thought he made a good play checking it down to Saquon Barkley.
He has hands.
He has hands. We will get to what happened in the competitive period at the end, but I didn't think the offense was anemic. I thought it was good process today for the most part.
Okay. I see what you're saying in terms of those nuances of spreading the ball around. I thought that there were 2 sacks right against him. So you start. I thought that the ball hit the ground a few times more. There were times when Jalen was holding the ball. That they without DeVonta Smith, it looked a little different out there, and that was the case the last practice as well. So
I'm happy to see.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts getting the reps throwing to these other guys.
Sure.
I think that's good.
Sure, yeah. But I didn't think the offense was especially efficient today.
Yeah. But I think that's fine.
Yeah.
It's one day,
But you said what's your takeaway from practice? I can say it's like that day it's like the day Miles Sanders got snaps with the second team, and I'm not saying he's gonna be the second team running back, but that's something that I observed in practice that day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk about what happened at the end, because that was bad. This was a specific situation. Offense has the ball on the 25-yard line, the plus 25-yard line, 48 seconds left, no timeouts, down 8. So you got to go score. And on the first play, for some reason, it's ones against ones. Eli Ricks gets his first rep of camp as the starting right cornerback opposite.
Yeah, what'd you make of that?
I don't know, because they came back and it was back to Adoree Jackson. So I don't know if Adoree Jackson had to pee or something like that, but Eli Ricks is out there. One play, and I don't know, did Saquon Barkley slip or what exactly happened? But on the first play, Jalen Hurts throws an interception to Eli Ricks with no
one around
player around
exactly.
It. So
yeah.
it was a bit of a gift interception, but good
Still
for Eli Ricks. What a rate. One snap, one pick.
Sure. Second interception of the summer.
Yeah, that was not a great play, but it also was one where
you need to move
did
the
a guy
ball.
fall? Like,
yeah.
Clearly they were not on the same page.
And that's where I wish we had the replay in practice, right? So I was standing behind the end zone. And so I didn't get the full glimpse of what happened on the play. And
then they got another chance at it. And this one maybe even more negative, because that other play seemed a little bit fluky. They couldn't move the ball. They had to get so first down incomplete, second down it's like a scramble around check down. And I know that Deniz in particular is not going to like this, because as the clock is clicking down, there's like 30 seconds left. You're talking about this would be a 3rd and like 5 or something like that. And they wait a while and then they spike it. Can't be doing that. I mean, let's run a play. If we're gonna wait that long, run a play.
Sure, yeah.
Don't waste the down.
You have the free play.
You got the free play. And then on 4th down, Jordan Davis gets home for a sack.
Yes.
To end practice, actually.
Yes. Yeah. That goes to the inefficiency with which I was speaking. That's an example of how the first team offense wasn't moving the ball well.
Okay.
Well, what?
I don't know.
I mean, we're allowed to disagree. Did you think the offense was efficient?
I thought it was fine. I thought it was a practice day.
Yeah.
They were trying different stuff.
Sure. Exactly.
Yeah. That session in particular, that was not good, because that was different. They're trying to get the ball in the end zone.
Yeah.
And they were twice unable to do so. I didn't think it was like the overarching takeaway from all of practice.
So what was your big takeaway from practice today?
It was hot. It was sweaty. I had to go home and take a shower before the show.
Yeah, I'm envious of you. Yeah. I would have loved the shower.
Well, episode's not over yet.
So
Super chat from Quinn Davis, who says, with the promising play of Jihaad Campbell, Smile Mondon, and Jeremiah Trotter Jr., do you think if you gave Howie truth serum, he would say he regrets paying Zack Baun, knowing his history of asset allocation at the position? That's a very good question, Zach. And let's talk about this, because there has been a lot of gas about the linebacking group as a whole, not just Jihaad Campbell, but Smile Mondon, who I do agree has looked pretty good so far. I'm not so sure that I would loop Jeremiah Trotter Jr. in as like, these guys look amazing, but it's a good group that they have there. Let's answer the question first. Do you think that knowing he was going to get Jihaad Campbell, Howie would have still signed Zack Baun?
Yes, I still think he would have signed it. So no, I don't think he regrets the Zack Baun signing. I think the level at which Zack Baun played last year was unlike anything the Eagles have had at linebacker. And we said this at the time. They didn't have a philosophical change at linebacker, at least from my perspective, although they went on and took one in the first round. I think they viewed Zack Baun as an exceptional player, and it was worth it to sign him to sign an exceptional player, similar to how they viewed Saquon Barkley the year before. And so I still think he would have signed him. And the Zack Baun contract is a 2-year deal. You know, I know it's a 3-year deal. It's effectively a 2-year deal. You were not going to have. You didn't know what Nakobe's status was this year, so you weren't going to go. Even if you had Jihaad Campbell, are you comfortable with Jihaad Campbell and Jeremiah Trotter Jr.? Are you comfortable with Jihaad Campbell and Smile Mondon? So no, I think he's very happy with the Zack Baun signing.
I think you're probably right, and I do think we need to pump the brakes a little bit. I think Jihaad Campbell has been awesome so far this camp, and they continue to give him a little bit more, but we do have to see it on the field. Smile Mondon, I think, looks the part and has shown some physicality too. But I mean, to say a 5th-round pick who's had a good week of camp before they've even played a preseason game is definitely a starting caliber player. I think we got to calm down a little bit.
So honestly, when you asked me what your big takeaway from practice was again, I didn't want to say Jihaad Campbell because it would have been the 3rd time in 6 practices that I mentioned Jihaad Campbell. But Jihaad Campbell stands out. Like,
Yeah.
first off, he plays with a physicality out there. He knocked Ben Van Sumeren out, essentially. Like, Van Sumeren left practice. We'll see what happens. He knocked Dallas Goedert to the ground yesterday. He is all over the field.
Right.
And we've talked about the size and the length and the speed. And that's just apparent when you watch him. He looks different. So you can start with Campbell. I think Jeremiah Trotter Jr. has been consistent. He's been better this summer than he was last summer at linebacker. And then Smile Mondon has length out there. Looks solid. But their two best linebackers last year, are not on the field right now, right? I mean, Nakobe Dean. I wasn't there like really early before practice. I know some of the reporters who were there at 9:00 said he had a rigorous workout and looked good there. Zack Baun missed his second consecutive practice, so they're down. Baun and Dean, and the linebacker play look good out there, and so that's a good sign that when you're with your basically 3, 4, 5 linebackers, and even Lance Dixon mixed in, with the ones, and so
I like
so
Lance Dixon.
Depth. Yeah, Lance Dixon,
undrafted rookie out of Toledo.
Yeah, from Penn State before that, big time recruit, and so. And you can read about him on Fran's undrafted write-up. It was awesome.
I think you want to talk about the undrafted guys for a second?
Sure.
I think surprisingly, considering how many draft picks they have and like what we heard about the depth of this draft class, I think they've got a pretty good class of undrafted guys.
Who's your favorite? Well,
you know who my favorite
Johnson,
is. Brandon Johnson is my favorite. But Montrell Johnson, the running back from Florida, mixed in a little bit with the ones today. I think A.J. Dillon was on the sideline.
Yes.
But Montrell Johnson looks pretty good.
A.J. Dillon, by the way, it's a back. It's not a neck. So just want to clear that up. Yep.
Okay, that's good. We talked about Brandon Johnson, who also bumped up a little bit today. Got a rep or two with the twos and dime. So that was encouraging to see. Lance Dixon, the linebacker from Toledo, we talked about, also got some reps with the ones today. And then I think Maxon Hook is not bad, the safety from Toledo. So I think they got a pretty good undrafted class. I think some of these guys are going to stick around.
Credit to the scouting staff. Right?
Yeah, and especially in this draft class. And they didn't spend a ton of money. This wasn't a bunch of like over slot guys.
And typically, when you have a deeper, they had their biggest draft class in years. You don't think of the undrafted class as, because in theory there's fewer spots. And so if you have a deep draft class and a good undrafted class, it's a good combination. Yeah.
On tomorrow's show after practice, it's going to be all three of us with Fran Duffy. We're going to do the exercise we do sometimes, where a week plus in the camp. Just who has changed our mind about them the most, for better or worse. And so that'll be a fun one for tomorrow. But the linebackers, I mean, listen, my expectation is they're going to be good.
Yes.
They were awesome last year. Like, are they going to be better than they were last year?
So Zach, this is a good Zack Baun conversation. And we haven't seen Zach the past 2 days, of course. But we talk about how you got the best possible outcome from Saquon last year. And you got the best possible outcome from Zack Baun last year. I think there's reason to believe Zack Baun can be better more than Saquon is going to be better. Like Zack Baun, as we talked about, was in his first year playing the position. And so in theory, he can be more refined there, another year in the scheme.
Yeah.
Now, certain game-changing type plays, they're not sticky, as you've long pointed out to me, the interceptions, things like, forced fumbles, things like that. But I think he's going to be active. He's going to be instinctive. He's going to be physical. All those things are going to carry over and potentially even improve. Yeah,
I mean, this is a famous last words kind of thing, but I cannot imagine Saquon being as good as he was last year.
Yes,
it feels impossible to me.
Agree with you there.
Because he can be as efficient, but not have 650 plus runs.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, he touched the ball nearly 500 times.
It's
right.
Crazy.
So yeah.
I do think it's more likely for Zack Baun, and for those, Zack Baun talked about it in the locker room cleanout day, that like he loves the idea of thinking about this was how good he and the defense were in the first year in the scheme. How much better can we get? All of that stuff. Now, I think defense is all about weak links, and so if the secondary is not as good as it was last year, then maybe things change a little bit. But yeah, I think it's very reasonable to be excited about the linebackers, but let's not go too far just yet.
But Jihaad Campbell is, and not just because of draft pedigree, but because of talent, and also because of the way the Eagles have invested in the position or lack thereof, is their most promising young linebacker, probably since Michael Kendricks in 2012. Right? I mean, he's the highest drafted linebacker they have since Michael Kendricks in 2012. or I mean, Kendricks was a second rounder, but they took Jordan Hicks in the third round in 2015. They took Davion Taylor in the third round in 2020, but they haven't really had like young up and coming linebackers other than Jordan Hicks. TJ Edwards was an undrafted free agent who really didn't kind of hit his stride until year 3 or so. So I mean, you take Zack Baun, who's their best linebacker since Trotter Sr., and then you take Jihaad Campbell, who's their most promising linebacker, and you figure they're going to be on the field together. There's reasons and you have a defensive coordinator who specializes in linebacker play, whose best defenses have come with elite linebackers. There's reason to think this group can be outstanding.
You were wondering before the show started off camera about would you take this group or would you take the 2017 group? Presuming Jordan Hicks doesn't get injured.
Sure.
Heading into the season, Bradham, Hicks, and Kendricks, where would you land?
Probably Bradham, Hicks, and Kendricks.
Interesting.
But Baun's the best one out of all of them. Now, I say that Bradham was so good in 17, and he was.
Well, you got to
think
about like when you're making it, because
exactly.
Bradham wasn't thought of as that good.
Exactly.
Until Hicks went down.
So I would probably take this group because of Baun, but
I think I would too, just because of Baun.
But if you're kind of taking Dean out of the mix, I'd rather have Kendricks than Trotter.
Yeah.
So Campbell's a wild card here. But
what is your expectation for Nakobe Dean, by the way?
I mean, I'm obviously not a doctor. I play one on the PHLY Eagles show, but he's moving.
Laugh at Julia.
It's a going away present, right? So I think that he's gonna be back sooner than maybe I think, but maybe later than he might want. I would think.
That's well said.
Let's say October 1st. Let's put it as the over under, and
I'll take the later on that.
I'd put slightly. I'm gonna make it. So what's the first game after October 1st? How about this? This is what I'll say. The Thursday night game is October 10th, I think it is, against the Giants, and then the game after that is at Minnesota. He'll be back October 19th against the Vikings.
What week is that? I mean, the real question is does he start the season on PUP or not?
Yes.
And I think yes. Doesn't that mean he has to miss at least?
Yeah.
So they moved it from 6 to 4. Is that right?
Yeah. So at least 4.
Yeah.
So the Minnesota game's week 7.
I would be surprised if he's ready that early.
The bye week's week 9. So maybe week 10 against Green Bay, coming off the bye.
Feels a little bit more right to me.
Okay.
And how do you think he get this is not a problem to solve. They got to wait and see what it seems like, but. If Baun and Campbell are cooking, is Nakobe Dean gonna have a role?
I don't see it. Now,
I think that's you worry about that when you get there.
Yeah, I know that Shield likes to say when coaches say it's a good problem to have. It's not a good problem. That's a good problem to have. Is when Jihaad Campbell's that good that the guy coming back from injury, who was a big time starter for you last year, doesn't really have a spot on the field. Okay. Although, and we can talk about this after the break, but seeing Jihaad Campbell get a snap at outside backer, maybe you think that they can find a certain package.
Yeah, he was working a little bit more as an edge guy today. Now I think the other 2 edges were on the field, but he was just lined up on the line of scrimmage. But that's certainly that's part of it. Yeah. Okay. All right. Quick break. On the other side, we will play a little clip of Brandon Graham on the exciting mics this week. Fun episode with BG. And then we'll come back and talk some more ball. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Bet365 has 90 million users worldwide, and they live stream over 780,000 events each year with early payout offers across the NBA and NHL. Bet365, they're like the Lewis and Clark of sports betting because they pioneered live in-game betting. Today, Bet365 offers the widest range of games and markets available for live in-game betting across 78 sports. New customers now get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5, win or lose. Sign up, use the code PHLY365, deposit $10 and place a bet for $5 to get that $150 in bonus bets. Again, win or lose. You also got the MLB early payout offer. With the Bet365 early payout offer, you're a winner if your team goes 5 runs ahead with an instant payout on straight bets and parlay selections marked as winners. Download the app and use code PHLY365 when you sign up. Bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, player props, futures, and more. Once again, new customers, $150 in bonus bets when you bet $5, win or lose. Must be 21 or older and physically located in Pennsylvania. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Summer's here, which means the kids are out and about. They're hanging with friends, maybe even picking up a summer job. It's the perfect time to set them up with something that teaches real-world money skills and gives them a little freedom. What I'm talking about is the Greenlight debit and money card from our friends at TrueMark Financial Credit Union. If you're a TrueMark Financial member, you can get a free Greenlight account for your kids or teens. It's a simple way for them to manage their own money, whether it's from a job, allowance, or birthday cash. They'll get their own debit card, can set savings goals, track spending, and learn how to budget, all while you stay in the loop from your phone. You're still in control, but they get to learn how money really works in everyday life. So before the summer rush kicks in, this is a great way to help your kids build smart money habits that'll stick with them long after the season is over. Head over to TrueMark.com/Greenlight. Get all the details and sign up today. Don't miss the chance to set your kids up for financial success.
All right. The exciting mics had on the legend himself, Brandon Graham, which you can watch and listen to today. Here's a little clip. Here's a little taste of what is in there.
You got a favorite player or team that you like to talk trash to the most?
Dallas, man. I used to talk so much against them because you just develop that because they fans. Because they fans, man, when they win, I'm telling you, they fans come out of nowhere. All I remember one time we lost to them and we was both good and we ended up losing to them. It was a good game. And all I get is L under all my stuff. All these fans spamming my Instagram, saying L, how about that? How about this? And ever since then, boy, they've been the top of my list. So everybody can get it in Dallas. And I'm going to keep saying it.
I love it.
Even the fans.
I love it. Now you can actually be a part of it now. You can say whatever you want.
Yeah, well, I ain't going to go crazy, though. I ain't going to go crazy because I don't want nobody come looking for me. But I am going to talk my stuff because that first game, man, I can already envision it. Coming out both trophies. Yeah, what up? We walking out together. Then we got the banner coming down. Oh, man.
You know, I enjoy that conversation with Brandon Graham so much. I do find myself wondering, is there anywhere that I can read something that he's written?
Yes. Well, first off, he has a great children's book out that I read to my son. So make sure you check that. But you can also, I genuinely appreciate this.
What am I going to do? Not bring it up?
On September 23rd, Leap Year is coming out. And Brandon Graham wrote the foreword for Leap Year. I'm honored that Brandon lent his words and his name to it. And so, eager to share that with the world on September 23rd.
All right.
Yes.
Good stuff.
No,
I mean, you got to get your plugs in now. That's one.
Maybe I could discuss the book on the show. That'd be nice.
I don't think so.
Okay.
You know?
All right. Anyways, let's keep going here.
Okay. Going through my notes here. You know, every single day, it's a new guy, but it was back to an Adoree Jackson day. A little bit more reps with the one. By the way, the Eli Ricks thing. You didn't make anything of that.
Yeah, I mean, I think you were on. I don't think he was peeing, but maybe he had to tie his shoe or something like that, right? Maybe there was something going on that he wasn't able to take the snap.
Yeah.
Or maybe they don't like. Well, no, I thought maybe they like Ricks better in like red zone or in hurry up. I don't think that would make any sense.
But then when they came back into it again, ones on ones, and it was Adoree Jackson. So something odd.
Yes.
But good for Eli Ricks.
Yes.
Who I think has otherwise underwhelmed a little bit this summer, but good for him. I was talking, you know, when you got the national people coming to town, they've got their questions for you, and someone asked about Kelee Ringo. And I think the thing, and the question was like, so I hear Kelee Ringo is disappointed or he hasn't been very good. And I don't think that's true. I just think that from year 1 to year 2, Kelee took a little bit of a leap. He looked better in year 2 than he did in year 1. You were hoping there was going to be a similar leap. I think he looks pretty similar to how he looked last summer. And he made two very good plays today.
Yes.
On balls down the field.
Yeah, one to Johnny Wilson. Yeah.
One to Johnny Wilson in that competitive period from Tanner McKee, and then one from with Darius Cooper had to it was almost an interception. Cooper had to make a nice play breaking up the interception. But Kelee has the physical tools to run down the field and cover guys downfield. I think he's been pretty good. I think he's been fine, but he hasn't taken a leap, and maybe that's okay.
So I asked you before camp if even par would get him the job, and I think has he been even par? Has he been?
I think that's right. I think he has. Yeah, I think he has been even par.
Okay.
Or somewhere between par and bogey.
Okay. I do know that term. So yeah, he's probably been closer to bogey than par. I would say.
In your mind, yeah.
But I still expect him to be the starter on September 4th.
He's shooting an 80.
What's even par? What's
70, 72.
Okay. Yeah, so shooting an 80. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's been okay.
Yeah.
What about Adoree Jackson?
So I defer to Vic Fangio here. I thought Adoree 2 practices ago looked good. I didn't think he was as good the last practice. So I don't know if Adoree's done enough to win the job, but 4 of 6 practices, Adoree's been the first one up, right? And so it hasn't been an even, one day on, one day off. I don't know what goes into the rotation.
Okay, let's talk. Take a second to get to the details of stuff. Injury wise, on the positive front, this was the first day that we've seen Jalen Carter. Participating in full 11 on 11, so that's good. He's getting healthy. Only 2 guys added to the injury report, right?
Yeah, let me pull this up here. So the injury report, Zack Baun, we know with the back. The added to it was E.J. Jenkins with a hamstring and Terrace Marshall with a knee. Drew McCuba remains.
Terrace Marshall going beanie today.
In that heat.
Real football guy stuff.
Yeah, well, the heat's a mindset, right?
Yeah, I don't think I agree with that, but
that's what Vic said. You don't think so? You don't think it's all relative, right?
No, I think it was hot. It was very humid.
Sure, but if you were, have you been? Is everyone's phone buzzing? Okay.
Oh yeah, got the flood alert.
All right, yeah, we got a flood alert. Okay, sorry about that. I felt the phone buzzing, and I didn't know something was wrong. I didn't know something was wrong. It was hot out there, but I mean, it has been hotter. I thought 2 days ago was hotter.
Yeah, it was hotter, but this was sweatier. This was much more humid. Yeah,
that is true. That is true. This one was. I didn't know if it was the material on my shirt or if it was the humidity, but yeah, this one.
Yeah, I mean, well, it was the predecessor to
the flash flood warning. Exactly. So DeVonta Smith continues to be sidelined with a back injury. I mentioned Drew McCoop with the shoulder. Then Nolan Smith still sidelined with the concussion. Limited Jihaad Campbell, although it doesn't look like he's limited out there. Yeah. Jalen Carter still not taking every snap, but taking more. A.J. Dillon with the back injury, and then Cam Jurgens' back injury as well.
I'm surprised Landon Dickerson wasn't listed on there because he seemed limited today. They did a lot of little rotating with the first team offensive line where it was Cam Jurgens and then Brett Toth in for Landon Dickerson at left guard, and then at one point it was Brett Toth at center and Matt Pryor at left guard. And I think the Pryor thing is interesting to me because he also got some reps with the 2s at right tackle. Right now, he feels like he is the pole position for like your game day backup at 4 positions.
I would agree. Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I think that's part of the appeal of having him here. I mean, you heard Jeff Stoutland say the other day he's part of the family, right? So, I mean, they clearly brought him back for a reason. Kendall Lamb is more of the natural left tackle, but if you look at the versatility, that's what Pryor presents.
I think they should call him Matt Present. When he was here before, he was Matt Pryor. Now, let's live in the present. Let's be Matt Present.
That is a Bo joke. I like that.
Why not?
Yeah, that is a Bo joke. That's a good one. Yeah. Is it coming down pretty hard out there? The lightning?
Nice.
I believe there was an earthquake in California today.
Fireworks. Yeah.
I was up at like 2 a.m. the other night, and when I was reading all the tsunami coverage, that was pretty intense too.
What were you doing up at 2 a.m.?
Thinking. To be honest with you, thinking. My wife would. I don't feel bad saying this. She would say, "Stop thinking so much. Like just turn your mind off." And if anyone has any advice for how to do that, I'm eager to learn.
Julia?
I wish I knew.
Do you have any substances that maybe he could borrow? Yeah.
Does that work? Okay. For how long does it like? Okay.
If you too have been thinking about Zach's impending departure and would like to share your thoughts,
I don't need to belabor that.
Please send them to bo@allphly.com. The inbox is filling up with people saying very nice things about you, Zach. We want to be able to read some of those at the Ospreys next Wednesday night. And I believe tomorrow morning is when we close the tickets for the Ospreys. So if you want to get a chance to go see Zach, last chance. Let's do it.
Well, and you can see Bo and Fran and Julia and
I mean, we got lots of fun stuff in store. It's going to be worth your while, no doubt about it. But if you just want to get some eyes on Zach,
I did say I talked my first day here how I'm eager to do live shows, and this is outside. Well, no, I did the Reading Terminal. Whoa, that was an intense lightning bolt there.
Yeah, baby.
This might be all our last shows.
You have angered the gods, Zach.
We all might be doing our last show
you've
together.
I see friends in the chat. Fran will remember I was live on the Eagles Live when we had the East Coast earthquake, 10 years ago or whatever, and you could see the set shaking around me. I actually think I did a pretty good job closing the show out of nowhere. I'm like, all right, we're gonna end this. We'll see you guys later.
I have no doubt you did. Best host in the city.
Well, not back then.
You've evolved. You've developed into that. Yeah. But yeah, so I'm excited to see everybody in person. But I really enjoyed those Reading Terminal shows.
Yeah,
as well. Next year I'm going to stop by and say hello to everybody there.
I mean, we'll have to get security.
I'm not persona non grata.
I mean, that's what you're making us feel like. Okay. All right. We talked about the UDFAs. We talked about Jalen Carter. We talked about Jalen Hurts. We talked about Jordan Davis. We talked about Kelee Ringo. We have not yet talked about Cameron Latu.
Mm-hmm. Cameron Latu had a nice catch downfield.
Yeah.
He beat Lance Dixon, I believe it was. He was wide open. So Cameron Latu in that competition for the depth tight end spot has draft pedigree. Third rounder out of Alabama, was drafted by San Francisco. Was on Cleveland's practice squad. But it was the first time he's really kind of shown up this summer.
Yeah,
I
agree with that. So there were 3 periods of that same situation when it was ball on the 25-yard line, down 8, 48 seconds left, no timeouts, got to score. We told you about the 2 ones with the ones where the first session ends with an interception on the first play to Eli Ricks, and then the second one ends with a Jordan Davis sack. There was also one with the 2s. So you've got Tanner McKee going up against the second-team defense, and this was one where it reminded me of talking to Tanner McKee about his first game last year, and his big takeaway was not like getting to play with the starters; it was getting to throw to A.J. Brown. Like you think about that first touchdown pass, it was like he just threw it up to A.J. Brown. He knew what to do, and Tanner McKee made 3 really good throws. One of them was to Elijah Cooks, which would have been a circus catch, but it would have been a touchdown down the right sideline, and he had it in his hands. And then I think Tariq Castro-Fields was able to pry it loose as Cooks was going to the ground. Then he throws one up to Johnny Wilson, and Kelee Ringo breaks it up. And then he's scrambling right and throws it to Johnny Wilson in the back of the end zone. Like, the whole theory of Johnny Wilson is there are going to be times where he is the only guy who can get this ball. He's this tall.
Yep.
It was a perfect throw there, and he still was unable to come down with it. And so, I'm in the tank for Tanner McKee. But, like, if you think about those throws being made to players of A.J. Brown's caliber, which there are not many, but still, a starting caliber wide receiver, I think it might have looked a little bit different on those.
Yeah, I agree with you. And Johnny Wilson hasn't done enough this summer. He was like a standout, relatively speaking, last summer, and I don't know if he's taken that next step this year. I mean, Elijah Cooks has made more plays than he has.
Yeah.
Although Cooks didn't bring that ball down.
Yeah, but
he looked
that
a
one
little
was
banged up.
where it was like, I mean, that would have been a crazy
Yeah.
catch for him to have made. It was like, I'm not so sure that some of the other receivers would have even been in that position.
True. But he looked a little banged up afterwards.
Do you think that
well.
Johnny Wilson makes this team?
I still think he makes the team.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, then look,
He
there's
brings something different. He's not,
exactly.
But
and there's a lot of time now, but there's a lot of time between now and, the 53-man cutdown.
But I do think you're right. It would have been, you would have hoped to see that year one to year two.
Yeah. Speaking of the depth wide receivers, they had a little gadget play for Anais Smith today.
I noticed that. Yeah.
So just a different way to use Anais.
And that with the ones, we should say.
Yes. I mean,
I think that's a wasted snap, frankly, but
like you mentioned at the top of the show, Jahan Dotson, did a good job.
Yeah, he was more. This was his most active day, I think.
Yeah, and so you like seeing that, especially in the context of DeVonta not being out there, because we said, I brought up the point against Tampa Bay and against New Orleans last year, Jahan didn't step up when he needed to, and I thought you saw that today in terms of just being more active, Jalen going to him. So I said at the top they were inefficient, but no, you're right. If you're kind of looking for particular things, him moving Jalen spreading the ball around and Jahan making plays stands out. Dallas Goedert had a nice grab. He also dropped the ball, but he made a good contested catch as well.
Okay, take a break. Hopefully we're still here by the time we come back, but let's hear from our sponsors. I'm going to tell you about our friends at Righteous Felon. No, I'm not. That's his job. I'm going to tell you about Monarch Money. Monarch Money, well, finances, like breakups, they can be messy and confusing. Why is he leaving me? I don't know. Monarch Money acts like your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control so you can stop earning and start growing. It's more than your average budgeting app. Monarch Money is a complete financial command center for your accounts, investments, and goals. Don't just manage your money, start building wealth with 50% off your first year for our listeners. Start managing your finances to build the life you actually want. Monarch makes managing money simple, even for busy lives. With all your accounts, credit cards, and investments in one place, you'll always know where your money stands without the hassle. Track your spending, savings, and investments effortlessly so you can focus on what matters most, making your biggest life goals a reality. Monarch Money, the finance tool people actually love. It was named Wall Street Journal's best budgeting app of 2025, the top recommended personal finance app by users and experts with over 30,000 five-star reviews. Financial stress is one of the top reasons relationships fall apart. Oh, that's right. Monarch Money makes money conversations easier. Get control of your overall finances with Monarch Money. Use code PHLY at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code PHLY.
Are you craving the perfect snack that satisfies your hunger and provides the right amount of protein to fulfill your body's daily needs? Well, we have the solution for you. It's Righteous Felon beef jerky and meat sticks. Righteous Felon traces its roots back to the hallways of Downingtown Middle School, and it was officially launched by lifelong friends in their apartment kitchen after college. This is an Exton, PA company that's been making all-natural, premium quality, better-for-you meat snacks for over a decade, and it's evolved into the region's preeminent jerky brand. The packaging is fun and engaging. The flavors are bold and tantalizing. The texture is tender and soft. These are, without question, the best meat snacks around, and and we're only 5% saying that because they're paying us to say it. It's the other 95% is because it's that good. The jerky and sticks are sold in your favorite local retailers like Wawa, where they're running a 2 bags for $10 best value you'll see anywhere deal on jerky right now. Giant, Costco, Royal Farms, and thousands of independent stores. What's more, Righteous Felon helps fuel your favorite Philly athletes by working with the nutritionists of each local pro sports teams to provide jerky and sticks for players to eat before and after workouts as a refueling snack during games. So if Righteous Felon jerky and sticks are good enough to keep Philly's pro athletes performing at the top of their game, it's got to be good enough for you, the average Joe Schmo. Now, if you're the kind of person who wants a deal and snacks delivered to your doorstep, you can order online at righteousfelon.com using discount code PHLY20 for for 20% off. They have all kinds of cool variety packs and bundles on the site, so it's also the perfect gift for that special meat snack lover in your life. Again, that's discount code PHLY20 for 20% off your order on righteousfelon.com.
And we're going to stick with Righteous Felon because it's time for the Beef of the Week. Beef of the Week. And I'm going to go with Quinyon Mitchell and A.J. Brown here.
Okay.
Zach, and this is not actual beef between the two of those guys, but we've talked about the evolution of those matchups. And Quinyon Mitchell spoke a little bit today about how he's not really doing a lot of chirping at A.J. Brown anymore. It's more just like line up and go with these two guys.
Yeah, which could be a sign of like Quinyon, lets his play do the talking now, right? Like last year, he kind of had to prove that he's at that level, and this year he's already there. But yeah, it's a good point. And Quinyon's been the only one who's been able to stay with AJ this summer.
AJ got him once today on a little dig over the middle of the field, but I mean, yeah, and Quinyon was following him all over the field, both sides. Quinyon Mitchell has been so good, and to see these two guys work against each other has probably been the highlight of camp so far.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and it's telling because we were on. I think we can say that now. It's out on the NFL Daily Show. Yeah, it was a fun time with Greg Rosenthal and Jordan Rodriguez.
Two of the greats.
And absolutely, I agree there. And you mentioned that like Quinyon can turn into like an all-pro caliber player, like a top of the league corner this year. And that's within the realm of possibility, because when you see the way he covers A.J. Brown, if you can do this against A.J. Brown, then most weeks you're gonna be able to do this against the receiver you face. So it's a good sign for him. It was also interesting hearing him after practice talk about ball skills and kind of what he's doing behind the scenes.
Oh yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah, so there's and I apologize if I'm butchering the story here, but there's like a red, yellow, and green lights on a screen that he has to spot. Is that how you interpret it?
I think there were two different things.
Okay.
One is something where there's two screens and he has to identify something.
Okay.
And then there's a different thing where I don't know if there are three balls in the air and they yell a color and he has to catch that color.
Okay, that makes sense.
So like it's just to work on the margins of his hand-eye.
Yeah. And the ball skills were like the only thing, I don't want to say the only thing that was lacking last year, but it needed to be improved. His first interception didn't come until the playoffs, and there were interceptable passes during the season. And as we said on the show 2 days ago, the interception he made on Monday is a play that Vic Fangio said he wouldn't have made last year.
I want to look at the schedule for the Eagles here and think about, do you think Quinyon Mitchell follows somebody?
Okay.
So they start with the Cowboys. CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. Is he going to follow CeeDee Lamb?
No, because of the amount of time CeeDee Lamb spends inside.
Okay. Next up is the Chiefs. Is he going to follow Xavier Worthy, the greatest player who's ever lived?
No. No, they have Rashee Rice too there. So, no, I don't think so.
Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams. Is he going to follow Puka Nacua?
Good question. No. What do you think?
Well, he also spends some time inside, but
exactly.
With those two, I don't know if you need him on one of the two. Tampa Bay, is he going to follow Mike Evans?
I'm going to say yes.
It feels like one, yeah.
Sure.
I think I agree with that. Denver Broncos, is he going to follow Marvin Mims?
Or Cortland Sutton? Probably Cortland Sutton. Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Is he going to follow Malik Neighbors?
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes.
That is one where like these guys are going to be going up against each other a long time. Justin Jefferson?
I can see that.
It's really coming down.
It is really coming down out there.
What did we have? We had a windy one in Studio A that one time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you nervous? You seem a little bit thrown off.
Oh, but my son gets like worried, and so I'm thinking about my son.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're secondhand concerned.
Yeah. I mean, he's fine. He's just
or maybe he's getting those genes from you.
Maybe so. Yeah.
You're throwing him under the bus.
I'm not worried about the rain or the thunder. Yeah.
Okay.
Are you do you like a thunderstorm?
I like to sleep in a thunderstorm.
Okay. Yeah. People like that. People like putting on the thunder music as background music. Okay.
Thunder music.
Or is that what? Yeah, like you go onto YouTube or Spotify or Apple
Yeah, no,
Music.
that's a thing.
Yeah, you put on Rainstorm and it helps put you to sleep.
Yeah.
That's kind of what this is like. I lived in a house a few years ago where every time it rained, the roof leaked.
Oh, I remember that for you.
Yeah. So every time it rained, I get like PTSD from that.
Okay. All right. I don't need to take you through the whole schedule.
Yeah.
I think we've done enough there. What else you got?
So we mentioned before we came on Shunderick Powell.
Yeah, a nice little run.
Yeah,
he's quiet camp for him so far, but he broke one through and then cut it to the outside.
And you said, I don't want to put words in your mouth. You don't know if in the game he would have gotten to the outside there.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure, but it was a good training camp run from him.
Yeah, best. It was the best run we've seen.
No doubt about it.
And then, as we said, Montrell Johnson kind of sneaked in with the ones. So it shows kind of where he is.
Mm-hmm.
Although they don't really have a lot of running backs, but he's someone who's caught some attention here.
I think so.
Yeah. You mentioned the Jordan Davis sack. Alex Hunt got through at one point as well. So those were a few things in my notes.
How do you feel about the Phillies moves?
Oh, I love it.
You do?
Yeah. I mean, especially when you see what the Padres gave up for Mason Miller. Yeah.
That's a crazy deal.
You get Duran, 3 years of team control. I mean, Mick Abel, who I like the way he's pitching this year, but going into the year, he wasn't like he didn't have the prospect hype that he had now. And then, I mean, when you have to give up a 19-year-old catcher, I'm okay with that.
Harry Bader.
Well, then they got Harrison Bader today. Yeah. A New Yorker. He went to Florida. What?
Okay.
I mean, he's playing well this year. They clearly wanted to keep Crawford and Aiden Miller. Andrew Painter was untouchable, obviously. So I like the move. By the way, make sure you read Jim Salisbury on allphly.com. He has a good column last night on the Duran.
And so your last chance to become a diehard for $36 for the year. Get it in now.
But
maybe later you'll get to read about Harry Bader.
But when you consider the lack of, well, I shouldn't say lack of closers out there, but you lose the option in Cleveland with the suspension to Class A. So at that point, you're looking at Duran, you're looking at Heisley, Mason Miller. So at that point, I like Duran the most of all of them. And then you didn't have to give up Painter, you didn't have to give up Crawford, you didn't have to give up Miller. I think a real good night from Dombrowski.
Okay.
Yeah. What did you think of it?
Everything you thought.
Okay. And some interesting moves today. The Mason Miller move, the Shane Bieber move. Curious, now.
Biebs.
Yeah, Toronto's got a legit 6-man rotation if Eric Lauer continues to pitch this way. So, they're playing really well. I mean, Blue Jays, Brewers. There's some good teams right now. What?
Amen, brother.
I can keep talking baseball if you want, or I can talk training camp practice today, or anything else you got in mind. Let me think here. So we spoke to Michael Clay.
We did.
Didn't really give much of an answer on the long snapper change.
No, but he said Charlie Hewlett's got a big body.
Yes, he does. Yeah. And Avery Williams. He said Cooper DeJean's probably not going to return this year, but that option's always there. He said we'll see in the regular season. Cooper DeJean and Avery Williams were both returning during the drill today. Avery Williams hadn't been kind of catching returns because they already know how he can return. Yeah. I'm sorry, punt returns, because they've been using him as the personal protector, which is something that he has a lot of skills at as well. You expecting Avery Williams to be on the team?
Right now, I would say no. I mean, they like him beyond the stuff that Nick said, like the fact that they're like thinking of him as the personal protector. It feels like they have in their mind a designated special team spot for him, but special teams only if you're going to use a spot for that. Okay, but I haven't seen anything from him on offense so far. Yeah. Have you?
No, not on offense. I mean, I think he's here for special teams, despite what Nick said.
Yeah,
and I haven't been tracking Jake Elliott's kicks. I haven't seen like misses
No.
in a notable way. I'm not worried about Jake Elliott going into the season.
Me neither.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then there's the new kickoff rule, right? He said they haven't decided what they're going to do. That's what camp is for.
Yeah, and tonight.
Yes.
And
what is the new kickoff rule?
The new kickoff rule is is the landing spot, right?
And the touchback is now the 35.
Yeah, yes. Yeah.
Right.
So you're incentivized to have it fall in the landing zone to be returned.
Right.
Yeah. Let me see here. So yeah, the kickoff. Well, anyway, I'm pulling this up here. Sorry.
It's okay.
Are you gonna be watching tonight?
No, probably not.
No.
I might, if I'm working, put it on in the background.
Mm-hmm.
But
so the NFL owners approved the significant change to the league's kickoff rule. Authorized. Okay. So the touchback on kickoffs will be marked at the 35-yard line in the 2025 season. A move that league officials, and this is from Kevin Seifert from ESPN, that league officials and special teams coaches say will prompt a significant increase in the return rate. Okay. So it moves up. The league had a return rate of 32.8% last year, and they are projecting the return rate this year to be between 70 and 75%. So that's a big jump.
Those are numbers that are different.
A.J. Dillon, how would you feel about tackling a 240-pound A.J. Dillon?
Not good.
That's what Michael Clay asked you today.
And I said, not good. I mean, he didn't ask me specifically.
He asked, he asked the group at large.
But the thing is, he maybe breaks the first tackle, but he doesn't have the long speed to, bust it.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. But A.J. Dillon has been.
I don't think A.J. Dillon's going to be the primary kickoff returner.
No, I do not think so either. Who do you think it's going to be?
Well, I guess Avery Williams.
That's who I think as well.
Okay. Wow. Francis is abnormally excited about the Hall of Fame game tonight. Proud dad moment. I mean, I hope you guys are going to be playing some Pokemon during that game.
Chargers-Lions.
Chargers-Lions.
You get to see Trey Lance tonight. I believe he's starting for the Chargers.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know who else is on the Chargers?
I know a lot of people on the Chargers, but who are you asking about?
Benjamin de Santa-Juste.
I spent a lot of time in Montreal, and that's not how people in Montreal speak.
That's how Benjamin St. Just talks.
That's how he speaks?
Yeah.
He speaks like that.
Oui, je m'appelle Benjamin de Saint-Juste.
I don't believe he speaks that way either. But and then the Detroit Lions.
Coyote Awashika.
He'll probably get in tonight, right?
You think they risk playing Coyote in this game?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Have you been to Canton, Ohio?
Never. Have you?
I have, but not for the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Okay.
I've been to Canton, Ohio to see LeBron James play high school basketball against
that's right.
Against my brother's team.
And unfortunately, the video.
You have a good memory. Exactly.
Ballet recital.
Jenna's ballet recital. But I was videotaping that whole thing. It's the first time I saw LeBron play. So I was in Canton, Ohio. I remember going to Shula's Steakhouse. Nice. I thought it was like so cool being at Shula's Steakhouse. But yeah, that was Canton, Ohio. I've always wanted to go to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Hopefully one day I'm able to get to go. But also Eric Allen getting inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So I defer to the great Reuben Frank, who talks about him as like one of the great Eagles.
And I think given the way that Troy Vincent acted this offseason, Eric Allen has gone even ahead of Troy Vincent in the pantheon of Eagles corners.
I think he was better than Troy Vincent going into the.
I know, but there's even more of a separation.
There's more of a separation. Yeah. Okay. Well, Quinyon Mitchell will be on that list at some point.
It's always tough. Somebody was asking Quinyon about if he had any thoughts on Eric Allen today.
Exactly.
Just a tough spot to put him in.
Exactly. Yes.
He didn't watch him play, but he knows he's one of the greats.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Quinyon Mitchell could be the best corner, could end up being the best corner I've covered.
Better than Cooper DeJean.
Could be, yeah.
Do you think Quinyon's envious of the Cooper hype?
Maybe. I don't know. What do you think?
I asked you.
I said, I don't know.
I don't think Quinyon cares.
Yeah, I don't
think Quinyon's like. I don't think Quinyon's following it. Yeah. But I'm sure he knows Cooper's popular. I mean, Cooper has a podcast. Quinyon was on it.
Yeah.
That right over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good show.
You got that direction right. Good job.
Yeah, I wasn't there for that episode, but I watched it and listened to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. What else you have?
I have not listened to the new Pablo Torre episode yet. We got to do that. There's more NFLPA chicanery.
It's right up your alley.
I have to report on. Is it not up your alley? Isn't it? Don't you?
Yeah.
Don't you find it fascinating as covering the NFL?
I do. Yes.
I feel like
Yes.
I mean, Mailata and Lane Johnson talked about it at the beginning of camp about what a crap show the NFLPA has been, but yeah, I mean, they continue to get dominated. They
need Bryce Harper.
Yeah, they do. I mean, they need Marvin Miller is what they need. But
good reference there. Yeah.
I mean, it's not looking good.
I mean, do you think there should be guaranteed contracts in the NFL?
I don't know if I have thought enough about what I think the solution would be, should be, but I do know that it is very unfortunate that the sport that is the most popular sport in the country, that makes the most money, also has the players who put their lives and livelihood on the line the most, and they have the weakest union. I think that sucks.
Mm-hmm. And why do you think that is?
I don't know. I don't have a solution for you here. I think this state of affairs
I mean,
really unfortunate.
I think the biggest difference between the NFL and the other sports is like, well, the size of the roster, so the size of the union, number one, but also like the length of the careers of the players. I don't have a good solution either. I do agree they need to have a stronger union. But you know, I certainly hope there's no work stoppages in the NFL, because our livelihood depends on the NFL playing. So
you hope they get railroaded and sign a deal?
I am not saying I hope they get railroaded. I hope like in most negotiations they reach a good compromise.
Okay. Yeah. I think we have another super chat. Idiot Sandwich. Is ZB leaving to be Lloyd Howell's PR rep?
No.
But you will take that business lunch if offered?
No.
Okay.
I will not. Yeah, I would not go to a business lunch there. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I would. I think that'd be, that's when I would decline to attend.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
What if it was not a business lunch, but reporting?
I mean, it's a hypothetical that's hard to answer.
Okay.
I think like, I mean, I would have to look, if you're reporting, maybe, if you're reporting.
That's where the source is. You got to go where the news is.
That's true. Yeah. So
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
I wouldn't rule that out. Yeah. I wouldn't rule that out.
Doing your job.
Doing my job. Yes.
Hopefully expensing it.
I would not. You can't. I would not expense that. That's an easy way to get fired.
Yeah.
Which I'm not trying to do.
Okay. All right, Zach. In a couple seconds, we're going to be heading to your favorite part of the program, of course. That is
overtime. Yeah, what do you got? You're thinking of something.
No, not really. We brushed over the Jordan Davis having a good day.
Yes.
As a pass rusher today. Was that more you thought because Landon Dickerson wasn't in at left guard, or do you still feel a little bit like he can do some real damage?
Yeah, I do feel he can be better. He said that they're expecting him to rush the quarterback more this year. I think that what I need to see from him is more technique, and I haven't watched the trenches enough to tell you how his technique is. But as I said on last week's show, I think the conditioning is only a part of this. I think the technique is a big part of this.
Yeah, this is a little bit like the linebackers. It's all positive development. it's really nice to see. We got to see it on the field.
Yep.
So,
agreed.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
No.
Sorry, this was such a stilted show.
You thought it was stilted?
A little bit.
We'll do better tomorrow. That's the good thing.
I hope.
I expect us to be better tomorrow.
The countdown is on.
I'm just trying to do the best job I can today, and then the best job I can tomorrow, and that's my only focus.
And then the day after that, 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 and then not anymore.
It's if you're running a marathon, Bo, you're not thinking about mile 22 or 23, 24, 25, 26. You're thinking about the mile you're on.
You're not thinking about Matt Pryor. You're thinking about Matt.
Present. There you go. Way to bring it all. That's why you're the best host in the city. So honestly, I don't want to get emotional or melancholy. I will simply say I'm focused on doing the best job I can right now.
Okay. Julia, how you doing? How's it looking out there? It feels like it's calmed down a little bit now.
Good.
Fun. Exciting stuff. All right. That'll do it for this episode of the PHLY Eagles podcast. Tomorrow, another Eagles practice. I'm expecting them to be in pads tomorrow. They got the day off on Saturday. So hopefully we get a lot of good action there. And we're going to take a bit of a step back also and talk who has moved our opinion of them the most, for positive or negative, on tomorrow's show with Zach, Berman, and Fran Duffy. Should be a lot of fun. We'll talk to you then. And as always, we love you.
We all silly like the mayor.